Good morning, this is Attorney Patrick Silva coming at you with another answer to a frequently asked question. Recently somebody asked me, hey, what ethical duties does the prosecutor have that's different from the defense attorney? Well, if we look at it, actually the prosecutor is held to a much higher standard, because if he screws up and he does something illegal, well, the ramification is that somebody gets sent to jail that shouldn't be sent in jail. And one of the main things is known as a Griffin error. That's where the prosecutor either says or alludes to the fact that Johnny had the right to testify, but he didn't. Why not? So that's prosecutorial error. Well, we call it prosecutorial misconduct. But either way, it could affect the outcome of a trial. So that's just one example, and I'm going to be giving a lot more examples. Attorney Silva, have a great day. Attorney Silva here with more information on prosecutorial misconduct. Now, let's say you're in trial and during closing, the prosecutor says, well, you know, Mr. Rodriguez over there, he has the right not to testify. Okay, let's examine that. He didn't say Mr. Rodriguez didn't testify. He didn't say that Mr. Rodriguez exercised his fifth. He just says Mr. Rodriguez has the right not to testify. That mere statement, by saying Mr. Rodriguez had the right, that is shining a light on his constitutional Fifth Amendment, and he's alluding to the fact that he didn't. So through the back door, he's saying, hey, he didn't testify, but he had the right to, or the right not to. So again, this little sequence that I'm going through, I'm just highlighting a lot of the things that as a DUI defense attorney, I know and focus on during trial to make sure that you are protected. Because if we let those things sneak in during closing, all those might weigh in into what the juror's thinking when they go back into the jury deliberation. This is Attorney Silva. Have a great day. It's Attorney Patrick Silva continuing on with more prosecutorial misconduct. Now, here's a situation that might arise. Person might be driving, they get pulled over, get arrested for DUI. The person is read his Miranda and he elects not to testify. And then you go to trial and you happen to take the stand and you say, you know what? I worked that night, I worked this day, here's what happened that whole day, and yeah, I had a beer or one beer, and this is what I told the cop, or didn't tell the cop, okay? This is where it gets tricky. If the prosecutor gets up and starts cross-examining you, the defendant, and he says, well, wait a minute, you never told Officer Jones that you only had one beer that night, and yet you come in here today and you're testifying that you only had one beer. How can that be, sir? Aha! That's a Doyle error, which means the prosecutor can't do that either. Now again, highly skilled DUI defense attorney is going to have all these in the back of their head watching to make sure none of these happen during cross-examination or during closing argument. Attorney Silva continuing on. Hold on. Hello, Attorney Silva continue on with more prosecutorial errors. Now here's another one. Let's say that you do a motion in limine, and a motion in limine is going to court before your trial, usually the day before. You say, hey judge, I don't want that piece of evidence to come in because the law says it shouldn't come in. And it might be, let's say you had a prior DUI, right? Or something that a neighbor came out and said, oh yeah, I heard Mr. Rodriguez say that he was drunk as a skunk, but the witness is not available. So you get the excluded, that's hearsay, and then you go into court, and guess what? The prosecutor has to control his own witness, which means the judge says, hey, Mr. Cop, don't mention to what Mrs. Sally said over there about him saying he was drunk as a skunk, and don't mention anything about a prior DUI. It's the duty of the prosecutor to control his own witness. So he's got to make sure that when that guy takes a stand and starts talking about these facts, that he does not bring in evidence that we previously said is not coming in. All right, that's another prosecutorial error. Attorney Silva, have a great day. Bye. Here's another one that your top-level DUI defense attorney needs to be aware of. Closing argument, the prosecutor cannot say, well, you know, if it wasn't for these technical rules of evidence, I would have had more stuff to show you, but you're not getting to see the whole picture. That's another violation. We'll call that a VILA violation. Again, you got to have an attorney that's going to know all these little ins and outs. And again, these cases are dating back to 71, 67. A lot of work goes into being ready for trial. As Attorney Silva, have a great day.